Light bearers, I see you shining. I can see you. It's your boy Lone Star. Um, in this episode, I wanted to point out celebrities that have been on this SR journey who have practiced nofap. Um, most of which were fighters, boxers in particular. As the old saying goes, women will make you weak in the legs. And it wasn't uncommon for many boxers, champion boxers, the elite, to have abstained from sex while training, to stay fully focused. Uh, Mike Tyson, which is probably the one I want to focus on the most in this video. Iron Mike Tyson. Anybody that's familiar with Mike Tyson's career knows that he was an unstoppable force in his prime, man. And it's been said that Mike Tyson went 5 years without releasing. 5 years. And the guy was an animal. He was a beast. A juggernaut, man. You know, I mean, it's undeniable that in his prime, he probably could have taken out anybody that you would throw in the ring with him today. My opinion. Even Muhammad Ali. You know, now that's up for debate. Muhammad Ali is definitely one of the greats. Some would argue the great. But if you put Tyson in his prime against Muhammad Ali in his prime, I don't know, man. Although it's worth noting that Muhammad Ali also would abstain from sex while training. Although I haven't read anywhere that he went as long as Tyson did. Tyson went 5 years without sex. And the guy was an animal. Other than fighters, Nikola Tesla, potato, however you spell his name, y'all know, okay? He was a genius. Elon Musk, modern day, and our generation, or within our lifetime, one of the geniuses of this world who's actually still living, Elon Musk, you know, practices nofap, or at least abstains from sex with the exception of procreation. You could actually find a video on YouTube of him like addressing it. He's like, you know, it's actually quite absurd to have sex without the goal of, you know, creating a child, basically, is what he is on record saying. You know, and if you think about it, it is absurd. You know what I'm saying? For us guys on this SR journey, you know, who are practicing nofap on our purpose, on our grind, seeking to become the best version of ourselves, we know this to be true. You know what I mean? Because we have experienced the benefits while other guys mock. And, you know, that's the majority, unfortunately. The majority of men aren't practicing this, man. And they will more than likely live their whole life not knowing what it's like to retain. And, you know, even women, man, as a heterosexual male, you know what I'm saying? I can say that even there's more to women than sex. Now, I used to be addicted to pornography. You know what I'm saying? I've been around the block. I've had my fair share of females, you know, in my younger days. When I was a child, I thought like a child. I behaved as a child. But now that I'm a man, I put away childish thinking. Napoleon Hill had a book called Think and Grow Rich. It's a really good book. If you have not read it yet, check it out. In this book, and I've recommended this book in previous videos, but in this book, he interviewed the most successful people in his generation, in his day and age. And he wrote down all of their keys to their success and dedicated a whole chapter to semen retention. Well, actually, sex transmutation, okay? Now, there's speculation as to what sex transmutation is. I've heard some pretty wild things, such as it wasn't necessarily that they would abstain from sex. They would engage in sex, but they just wouldn't release. And while they were engaging in sex with a woman, they would visualize their dreams coming to pass, because it has been said that while engaging in sexual acts, you're at your highest level of consciousness. You know what I mean? You're up here and your whole body is just, you know what I'm saying? And regardless, semen retention, they were retaining. I've heard a bunch of crazy stuff like orgies and stuff, but they were retaining. Now, I don't advocate that. But what I would like to point out is these successful men were retaining their seed. And also it's worth pointing out that Napoleon Hill concluded that from the ages of 40 to 60 is when men usually peak, when they become most successful, when they inherit or obtain wealth, is usually from the ages of 40 to 60. And the reason why is because most men, the majority of men in their teens, throughout their 20s, your hormones are raging. You know what I'm saying? And I think, I'm kind of torn on this because as a Christian, I don't, but I think that it's good, it's healthy for a man to know what it's like to lay with a woman. But hindsight's 2020. If I could rewind time, I probably would have done things differently. Regardless, at this stage in the game, I'm retaining. And Napoleon Hill, he pointed that out, that, most men, when they get to a certain age, become more successful because they're no longer driven by their sexual desires. They're able to tame that beast, so to speak, and think with this head instead of that head. So, there are celebrities that practice semen retention. There are rappers. Kevin Gates, he had that one track, I Don't Get Tired. Well, now we know why. He had that SR drip, man, that extra energy as a benefit from retaining his seed. That's why he's got so many jobs and he don't get tired. Nah, but in all seriousness, Kevin Gates has been on record acknowledging semen retention and the benefits of it. So, we're not alone, guys, even though sometimes it feels like we are. And especially when we're being tested, experiencing a flat line, are the times where we can feel weak. But it's good to remind ourselves of why we got on this journey in the first place. It's good to hear about people such as Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, Elon Musk, Kevin Gates, who retain and obtain wealth, become very successful. So I just encourage you guys to stay focused, stay strong. Don't let nobody dim your light. This is your boy Lone Star. Until the next video, peace.